I would like to thank every single one of you for making our time to be here today. I feel very privileged and honored to have every one of you come here. I'm really happy about that. I'm a mother of 3 young children. You may have seen this is the last one, and I've got 2 others, 2 other young ones. And a widow of a renowned journalist in Nigeria. He was the deputy editor of this day newspaper before the unfortunate happened. And prior to that, we were being attacked personally. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Prior to that event, we were personally attacked on 3 occasions. One of the attacks, I was there, gunmen, armed men, and after that incident, I've never been the same again, to be honest, because I just thought my life, I could have been a dead woman at that point in time. And that happened, and shortly after that, we were being attacked even at home. 3, I don't know who they were, but they came en masse, but somehow we were able to escape that. Different events. So I just after the first event that I witnessed, that I could see, I don't know, I just felt unease, and I felt like I don't want to stay here anymore. I mean, that's the way I felt, because I just felt like, you be walking, you don't know who could be watching you. I just felt very, 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 very unsafe most of the time. But shortly after that incident, everything happened is like in the space of, I can't remember, few months apart, like that, or happened like that. But shortly after that, it was invited on the 25th of July. It was invited by the governor of the Borno State. Precisely, it was the governor of Borno State. His name is Ali Sherif. He was invited, to come on a gesture, just come over, and after that, I never saw my husband again. He was invited, and he came. While he was there, we were exchanging text messages. I knew what was happening, to him. But while on his journey to that place, the man halfway in Nigeria, when you fly, you could, because the north is quite far from the south. He was asked to come down the passenger's plane to be on the private jet. He politely, said no, and he went on the passenger. He was received by the governor, the deputy governor instead. The governor that invited him was not even there at all, and they went for a drink. And like I said, we were exchanging text message. I never knew that was the last communication I would have with my husband. I was 6 months pregnant with this boy at that point. And when I didn't hear anything, I was worried. So I called his phone. That's the following day. I felt like he may be engaged in discussion and everything. So after waiting, usually we're always in touch. When I heard nothing, I decided to ring him. I would call all. He's always carrying like 3 mobile phones. So I called all his phone lines. Very unlike him, he didn't pick any of my calls. I kept ringing. I can't remember how many times. I was like, what is happening? So I felt something was wrong, but somehow, until I heard another person picking, I heard another line, somebody picked the phone, then I knew something had gone wrong, because I felt like, who could be handling this? To be honest, I can't remember the discussion that the person told me, but I knew something went wrong. Only for the chairman of this, the way it worked, gave me a call and broke the news, the unfortunate incident that happened. I wasn't myself. I was I was rushed to the hospital. That's almost immediately. And after that incident, I just felt very uneasy. I felt like, and what I didn't say earlier, the man in question that invited him is very, if you Google his name, is very closely linked to Boko Haram that we're talking about now. He's very associated with that. But at that point, the Boko Haram that we hear now is not as in gain as much prestige, or as more people are not aware of their work at that point in time. So I left. Shortly after that, I went to America to have him. I stayed at a friend's place, and I took my 2 other kids along, thinking, confused as I was, until I have him. So when I had him, I felt lonely, and I felt like, what am I doing here? But the reality and the vacuum of what has really happened became a reality. Because all along, when I'm in labor ward or whatever, he's always there. You know, he would never leave me, never. You know, so I just felt, and I left, and I stayed there briefly. They tried, the family I stayed with tried to ensure that I was okay. I was okay there, materially, but the vacuum was there, and I felt like, let me go back to see. But then eventually I went back after about 4 months back to Nigeria. But by the time I went back, what I've noticed, people have moved on with their lives, which of course is expected. I'm not saying people should hold on this thing, but what I felt sad about was the fact that the real culprit is so obvious. You are a guest of a governor, and nothing was done. And to be honest, I think I started reading the papers later, after the incident. I felt like this is an obvious thing, and nothing was done about the situation. It just all talks. When you read them, they'll say, okay, yeah, we're going to investigate, but nothing was done about it. Till I'm talking, and this is about 7 good years. It's 7 years, a month and 4 days today. So every single year, as you guys celebrate your birthday, most of the time I celebrate. It's not really celebrate, it's like another wound is being opened every single year for me. And the fact that I know the man lately, he's been appointed as a state senator, unfortunately, which of course I will come back to. So when I get back to Nigeria, people are moving up as they should, life goes on. I still felt very uneasy, but because the person in question is a powerful guy, I felt like I wasn't confident enough to approach the authority, because I felt like my life was at risk and my life was in danger, and I felt like I would be targeted. But shortly after that, I opted to come to the UK to come for my master's. So I came in to ease off, to feel like, let me leave whatever must have happened. Let me come to the UK and have a fresh start. So I came in for my master's in Kingston University. I was privileged to be given the scholarship because of what I've gone through, and part scholarship that helped and ease off the financial burden on me a bit, and I graduated with commendation. Eventually it went well, but I was also privileged to work on 2 fixed-term contracts as a biomedical scientist in London. I worked there, and unfortunately when I decided to apply for my work visa, it fell through. It was not, because I was looking for every opportunity to come into the system, to work legally, to ensure that I'm not a burden to the system, and I thought that was the best route I could come into the country. But I never wanted to seek asylum. I just felt like I have the skill that is needed and required, and I can also contribute to the society, and that is why I never sought asylum until the last minute, when I couldn't do it by my power anymore. And that's why I'm in this, I'm sorry to say, this mess, and yeah, so that is it. But it's sad to note, it's like Boko Haram is gaining more confidence. They're becoming it's no longer aiding anymore, because they've got a backup, political backup, and with all this, you've heard about some school students being hijacked by them, and apart from that, people are being murdered. It's on the increase now. It's no longer hidden anymore. Their activities, you can Google it, you can Google my husband's name online, everything is all there, and also the Boko Haram and their activities is all written there, black and white. And yeah, that's as per Boko Haram. And I've been able to find peace here, to be honest, because the first time while doing my course, I never knew there's anything like counseling. You know, I was privileged to go through counseling. I felt like a human being. You know, after going through that counseling, I was able to, for the first, it took me a while to open up to the council, because I first thought they would report me and you know, the governor will come. You know, that was when I came into the system. But it took me a while. But right now, I'm getting the kind of support that I need, and my children are already gradually getting integrated into the system. You know, in church as well as in school. They've got friends around. I feel like this is my home now, and I at the moment we're facing the challenge of the possibility of not being walked through, and based on what is happening even back home, Nigeria is not safe, which of course you know. So I don't feel safe, and I feel like my life is just threatened even right now. I don't feel at peace. I honestly look forward to your support, which I believe by coming here you've expressed that, you've shown that you want to support the family. I'm really grateful. That's just my little story. Thank you.